Hello. So today I have a really cool conversation for you. So I'm actually going to talk to a girl called Eden and Eden in Norwegian, and I just wanted to have this conversation because she attended one of my webinars 5 years ago actually, and that made her realize that she should go for it, do the thing that she wanted to do, and she did. And I we started talking, and then I was like, let's just have a call because I would love for you to talk about your journey and how you actually got the guts and courage to just really go for it. So I just hope this can inspire you to actually choose the creative path or just the right path for you. Um, and yeah, there's a cool story here, and there's also a lot of, I would say, life wisdom that I hope you enjoy. So let's just get right into it and enjoy this one. Okay, let's begin. Are you ready?
Mhm. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
ready.
Cool. So I wanted to first off just saying I'm so happy that you're here. And the way we got kind of introduced was that you joined the webinar I had in 2020, I think, where
Yeah.
I was taking a break from medical school and you saw my webinar and then you started thinking maybe differently about your life choices. So I'm just curious, like kind of where you were at that time in your life and the changes you actually did after you started, reflecting around life choices and where you wanted to take your life.
Well, the thing is that I was truly at a bad place in my life while I watched this webinar, so it was kind of life-changing for me.
Yay.
Uh, Leads teacher at an elementary school, so I was really reflecting about my life choices wherever I wanted to work as a teacher in school. So after I saw your webinar, you were talking about the health challenges that you come with, especially when you choose a job that isn't right for you. And I remember that after I saw that webinars, I started to look around me, especially at my colleagues, like what kind of decisions I should take. I remember I was 25 back then. And when I saw my older colleagues, I saw that they were real stressed because working at a school, it can be stressful it can affect the health negatively. So when I saw these things, I was like, I don't want to end up there when I'm 40. And I remember I had a friend of mine who I just met at that time who helped me to push me to pursue the art dream,
Yay.
even though I doubted myself a lot as an artist. But this friend kind of pushed me to make that decision. And it was then I started to work at a community college where I created my own art class, like a manga class here in Norway.
Well, that's so cool.
So yeah, I really doubted myself a lot back then. But my friend was like, Eden, you have to do this. This is what you want, right? And then I went for it.
Love that. I think it's
Yeah.
cool that you can do it even though you're doubting, because I feel like
Yeah.
people think that they have to remove the bad feelings to like even start. And I'm like, no, no, you just do it with the
Yeah.
doubt and the fear. So yeah, I think that's awesome. Wow. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
So it did. So it was a nice it was really amazing to take that decision for myself, thinking that I'm meant for more things, not just being stuck in the same job and be unhappy. So I
Yeah.
remember I had to take care of myself as well
Mm.
and reflect on about who I want to be in the future, what do I want to achieve. And I remember I was very conscious about those choices when I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
Because I thought I was going to be a special need teacher, working in the office, working, have a regular job, but I didn't.
Right. And it looks so different
Yeah.
now. I just want to like think because I've seen your Instagram and like first of all, I love like all your drawings. It's so incredible.
Oh,
You're
thank
like
you.
amazing. And I'm just like so curious, like because now it's quite different because now you work with the art, right? Like what do you do currently, right? Because you work with that today.
No, not anymore.
Oh, you don't.
No, I had to choose myself once more.
Okay.
Yeah.
What happened? Or tell me
Well,
about
the
it.
thing is that when you have a class, it's not always possible to develop, to get this kind of development you want for your art career.
Mm,
And there was some disagreement with the school I worked for
mm,
because I wanted to take the art class very further, but the school didn't. I
mm.
had a lot of ambitions, and I remember that they told me I shouldn't have ambitions.
Well, that's yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
the place to be then.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
realized very quickly that this wasn't the place for me. And I remember my friend was like, okay, Eden, you have to get out of there. You can't be there anymore. So, and I always had this plan that I'm going to work for myself with manga because it's my passion. And I remember I saw a video on YouTube where someone talked about that the important thing of when you're doing a business is to always have a purpose. So I think that teaching manga should, for me, it's like you can teach manga wherever you work at a school or without working for a school.
Mm.
So I went solo after 3 years.
But that's like even more brave because then you're like doing
Yep,
it solo. So like you're
yep,
still an artist and is like that's
yep,
honestly even more impressive.
yeah.
Yeah.
So even though I know that working with something creative at a school like folkehøyskole, folk high school in Norway, it's kind of like a dream job for many creatives.
I love that. I feel like this
Yeah,
is so interesting because I think because I like I was in medical school, which was
yeah,
like the dream, but I was still like I got the thing that everyone say I should want,
yeah,
but I still don't want this. Like there's something about like being even more ambitious than like the
yeah,
ambitious and just like no, I want to do it my own way. And I think like that's so brave that you did that.
yeah. So it was very hard at first, but then I realized that it was the right choice.
It makes me so happy.
Because I think it's very important to choose yourself. Don't be in the places where you don't get to develop yourself and such things. I think it's very important that you are in a place where you can act on your purpose, do the things you want to do, right?
Yes.
Without being limited. So,
Do you feel like you're doing that? I mean, of course, it's like hard when you're in a journey, but like, how do you feel about that today? And like, are you doing it? Are you on purpose?
well, I love it because now I decide where I can have my manga workshops since I travel around the country, around Norway, at events, libraries, and sometimes schools to have these workshops. So it's very fun.
Oh, I love that. That's
So, but as a business person, when you're going on that path, you're not just an artist, but you're also an accountant, you're your own social media manager,
yes.
you're the marketer, you have several roles.
Yeah, that's so true. Like, you really have
Yeah.
to become like, yeah, a person who can do everything.
Yeah, it was hard. It can be
Hard.
challenging at times, but
It's hard
I
in the
know.
beginning, but I think you can
But
also like hire people and like because you can get an account and then you can like hire people who can do that stuff for you. Also, when you but like when you get started, you kind of need to do everything yourself.
yeah.
But I also started believing a lot in outsourcing. So like that's my business
Oh,
side. Yeah. So I like outsourced like the marketing and the accounting and stuff like that. And that was like a
oh,
big thing for me. But I'm really big on just like focusing mostly on doing your unique ability, which for you is probably like the actual art and like the artist
yeah,
stuff. So if you can, like I would love to, yeah, I mean, I would encourage you to like start outsourcing if it's possible,
yeah,
because then you get more time. But in the beginning, it's I feel like people have to choose as entrepreneurs whether they kind of want to be like an entrepreneur or artist. But I'm like, no, you can be both, but you kind of have to
yeah.
outsource the business stuff to other people. So yeah,
That's
so
true.
interesting.
So outsourcing is good, and I know that a lot of influencers do that when they have some people to help them. And being an Aries myself, I want to do everything by myself at times.
We're the
So I'm
same.
very stubborn at that, about that.
Yeah, I'm similar in that way. I am.
Oh, yeah,
I'm an Aries as
amazing.
well. I'm not sure if that's why, but I think there's something about because you kind of you have this standard about like your work. You want it to be like this standard, and you're really scared that if you
Yeah,
outsource it, like they will not do it better than you. But like let's say the accounting, I promise you, accountants are better at accounting than
They are.
so I have to like train my mindset to be like, no, there are actual people who can do this better than me, even though it's hard
Yeah.
to like give away, I guess.
Yeah. I had an accountant last year and it helped a lot.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it helps
Yeah.
a lot. They're usually really good unless they just want your money, because then they are not. I've had like
Yeah.
different ones, and yeah, it can be
Oh,
like interesting.
I
Yeah.
was very lucky with the one I got. She helped me a lot with the taxes and doing the accountant work, and it was helpful.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Wow. What do you think is like the biggest mindset shift that you needed throughout this journey that helped you actually choose yourself and choose the kind of business that is right to you?
I think it's about choosing yourself at first when
Mm,
you take decisions. For example, I think it's very important to reflect about what kind of people you want to associate yourself with. Do they share the same value as you?
mhm.
Do your values and their values align? I think it's very important to reflect about that
Yeah,
as a
that,
business
yes, that's so important.
and also know your values. Get to know yourself. What kind of business do you want to have? What do you want to present to the world? And does your business partners have the same values as you?
Yeah, I think that's huge. And I find, because I've hired quite a like couple of people, and I've mishired quite a lot. Like, yeah, so I'm just curious, like, how do you find out who the right people are? Because I know like that was a big challenge for me, because I
Oh,
think I'm like too nice and I just really want to see the good in people, but that also made me kind of overestimate their ability and
yeah.
personality. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. So I'm just
Oh,
curious, like, how do you, like, it could be like if you didn't hire, but like partners, like, how do you help yourself find the right people? Like, when you're kind of trying to figure out who the right people are in your business or in your life. It could also just be like in your life. Like, what are the kind of things you're looking for and maybe looking out for and stuff like that?
well, the thing is about that, this is something I had to learn the hard way during my first year as an illustrator. I managed to work with people that was a mishire that we didn't align or had the same values.
Mm-hmm.
And I always look at how the business partners or how they treat people in the early stages.
Yes.
Because I remember it was something like my sister told me once. She told me that people can be very kind at the start in the first place, but you have to look at the earliest signs.
Yes.
You
Wow,
have to look at for the red flags before you cooperate.
I know.
For example, when I'm working with other people, I'm looking for a very clear communication, that they are very tidy in their work, they are not messy in the way they work, and they are very busy about when it comes to documentation, have documentation on everything.
Hmm.
And I like, yeah, very direct communication with those I'm working with. So,
This is so good. Like, if I knew
yeah.
this 3 or 4 years ago, like I would have saved myself from so much suffering, because I just ignored it.
Yeah.
I was like, it'll get better. They'll start getting communicating better, and they didn't.
No.
Yeah. Oh, but this is so good. So and I think there's something about kind of, because I think a lot, I like people can like ignore the red flags, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you've done that, but I've like I kind of felt that no, something is off, but I just ignored it because I really wanted to hire someone quickly. So I think what
Yeah.
you're saying is yeah, but like, okay, but like clear communication, that's one, and also that they're kind of detailed or like today and stuff like that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And look about if they have something reviews like online, read those reviews.
Yeah, for sure.
And what people says about them. If you know someone who has worked with these people, ask them.
Yeah.
Because I know that we artists, we are good at communicating with each other especially when it comes to these kind of things.
Yeah, that's so important. Do
Yeah.
you work like online also, or mostly just in like physical? Like,
Physical mostly.
yeah, that's yeah. Because I was just thinking, because I work mostly online, and I think it's kind of
Okay.
easier to like trick people, and also like it's harder to kind of get to know a person through like the computer, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So maybe
that's
that's
true.
it. Yeah. Wow. Do you have any cool like projects and goals that you're gonna go for in 2026? Because it's a new year, so I'm curious.
Yeah, so I want to work with my manga, my comic book. So
Oh my god, how cool.
I'm working with it. So I hope to get a little bit further in that process.
Wow. Can you tell me more about like the manga book? Like what, if you want to, if you don't want to, like feel free not to. But like
So it's a manga called Dreamcatcher.
I read about that. Yes. Tell me
Uh,
more.
so I think it's kind of based. I got inspired from my friendships through the years to
Hmm.
make this one. And I remember when I was in the dark place in my life, not kind of a dark place, but I remember listening to Ariana Grande's Eternal Sunshine album.
Oh, so good album.
Yeah, I love that one. And then I created this sun-like character, Elio. And then I had a puzzle piece in my story.
Son in Greek. Ilio, is that the name?
Mm,
No. Did
yeah,
you say Ilio? Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, because I'm Greek, so I was
yeah.
like, that literally
Oh,
means son, but I think you know that. It's from
yeah.
yeah. I was like, Ilio, okay.
Yeah,
That's so cool. I love that. I'm so
yeah,
because I think you mentioned friendship a few times. And
yeah,
I think like for me, the last 1 or 2 years, I realized like the power of friendship, how incredibly important it is to have people who like support you through your
yeah.
dark times. And I'm yeah, just curious, like what do you think? Because like that's something I realized like the hard because I also like 1 or 2 years ago, I was like at literally like rock bottom. And
Oh,
like my friends helped me out of that. Like my new friends and old friends, but mostly new friends to be honest, because I had to like
oh,
change
that's
a lot of my
good.
yeah. So I'm just curious what your yeah, what's like your experience and thoughts around friendship? Because I think we talk a lot about like romantic love and family
Yeah,
in general, but we completely forget about friendship, which is
that's true.
honestly so important. It's like the best people.
Yeah,
Like they're my friends, they're my chosen family, you know?
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for the friends I had. Of course, throughout the years, I had to navigate those friendships to surround myself with people who want to see me succeed. And I know that you figure out who your real friends are once you achieve success.
Yes, this
Yeah,
is so true. A mentor once told me that he was like, you don't find out who your real friends are when you're like failing. You actually do it when you succeed. Because if they're not
yeah.
cheering on you when you succeed, they're not a friend.
No, that's true. So I've been very lucky with my art friends.
Yes.
Me and my friends, we usually meet up every second of the week to draw and to talk about your art projects and to inspire each other.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Yeah,
I love that. How do you like keep? Because I feel like people sometimes, I feel like some people expect the other friend to kind of make the friendship go. I think that's in
yeah,
most relationship. Like you want the other person to like invite and like create, but like both are responsible. So, and it feels like me that you're someone who like also engage in wanting the friendship to like blossom and become better. And
yeah.
I'm curious, like, what do you think around that? And is that like how do you actually do that in real life?
To keep the friendship going,
Yeah,
or
to like actually, yeah, yeah, keep the
I
friendship
think it
going and make it better.
I think it's very important for me, for example. I think it's very important to meet up regularly, to have these kind of events because you never know when you lose your friends, and I think it's very important to show up for them, to show that you appreciate them. And I know that my friends have supported me a lot throughout my art journey, even though when I didn't believe in myself at that time. And my friends were like, Eden, you have to keep going. You can do this.
I love that. They sound like amazing
So
friends. I love that.
they are amazing.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah.
I love that. I think
Well,
sometimes we
yeah.
like look at people who succeed and then we think they did it on their own, but there are like so many people who support them, like whether it's friend, and for me it's like friends of my mom, like they're always supporting, and I think that's so,
Yeah.
so big. Wow.
Yeah, and one of my friends, she got an illustrator job last year, and I was like, "You have to do this. You're such a talented artist." And she just got her first illustration job, so
That's so cool. I love that.
yeah.
Did you have, because like, did you illustrate before you kind of went, because like I think you said you started in 2021. Did you have like any illustrator friends before that, or is this like a completely new, I guess, world to you?
Yeah, I remember I had my friend, one of my friends I met. I had, we've been friends for over 15 years since we were teenagers.
Wow, that's impressive.
But we weren't friends in the start, but our friendship gradually growed. So
Mm. Oh, that's so cool.
yeah. And
But
the other friend of mine, I kind of met him back in 2020
mm.
when it was COVID. So, and he grew to become a close friend as well.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so nice. Wow. I was just thinking about changing topics, but I'm curious, like, when did you start drawing? And because I
Oh,
guess that was like an underlying passion all your life, or has it not? Like, was it completely new? Like, how did that start for you?
I always loved drawing, even since from kindergarten. So I always was an artist. And I remember that the important thing is that I drew a lot as a kid, but I started to draw manga when I was around 11 years old. So, and I was introduced to anime, and then I started to draw these illustrations. So,
Wow, so
but
cool.
yeah,
That's so cool.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Because I feel like I think like the thing we're supposed to do is the thing we've always done. As in,
yeah,
like, I feel like some people are like, oh, I need to find out my purposes, but I think it's like the thing that's always kind of been there. If that makes
yeah,
sense. So I just find that really interesting. So you started so early.
yeah. But I gave up once I started to study. So,
We all do. Me too.
especially when you get told that, no, you shouldn't do art,
Yeah.
don't get a career out of it.
Yes. Tell me
Yeah,
about how you navigate that, because I think that's the main thing that I
yeah,
feel, and probably you as an artist and me as an entrepreneur, that people are like, yeah, most people don't succeed, so don't even try. And I'm just curious,
yeah.
like, how do you work when people, like, how do you kind of protect yourself from that kind of BS?
Oh, I actually met a lot of it during my art journey. I had several people doubting me about that.
Yep.
So, in order to protect myself, I don't usually surround myself with these kind of people. So, I always put boundaries and I don't usually talk about it if people are starting to get very discouraged.
I love that. Yeah.
Because I remember my family was very skeptical about me doing art. But once they saw all the workshops I did and how I started to earn some money from doing it, they was like, "Oh, okay, that's no problem."
It's usually like, yeah, they usually really
Yeah,
prove that you can actually like make a living, and then they're like, okay, cool.
yeah.
Same here.
Since I'm also from Eritrea, and in Eritrean communities, it's usually valued that you should be a doctor, engineer, lawyer, right? That's the very basic career paths.
Mm.
But I also remember that I'm not sure if you're familiar with Joseph Johannes,
I don't think so, no?
the guy who made Urban Legend, a comic book
Okay, I haven't heard. I'm not.
about a African superhero with a yellow suit. He looks like Bruce Lee kind of character.
Cool. That's
And I
cool.
remember that he's also Eritrean, and I remember that when he published his comic book, my parents was like, "Eden, oh, that could be you." I was like, "Oh, yeah."
I love that.
Yeah, so that's cool because the interesting thing is that my parents knows his parents, and I remember that my siblings used to play with him when he was a kid.
Mm.
And I remember I met him several times during comic events, and he was always very lovely and was always eager to give me advice if I needed it.
Wow. Well, that's so
So
good.
that's very cool. Yeah,
Yeah, it's so good that like I think also like we kind of break what you call it like pattern breakers in your family.
yeah,
Like if the family or just like any society like does things one way and then you come in and you prove that you can actually do it in a different way, I think that changes people around you as well because then they realize, oh, I can do this as well if that
yeah,
makes sense. But that's a power. Like you're a leader, but that's
yeah,
probably already know that.
yeah. I think so. Yeah,
Yeah. How is that for you? Because I think like for me, it's been I've kind of known always that I've been really like a leader type, but
yeah,
it's but I have like a lot of empathy, so I'm sometimes scared to like take that role. So I'm curious how because I know you're an instructor, so you are a leader in a lot of
yeah,
settings, and I'm just curious like how is that for you, and how do you actually step into your leader role, and how because I think that's your element. I think you're in your
yeah,
element when you're leading.
yeah,
I'm just curious, maybe how does that feels for you, and like maybe how you have to work into, I guess, making that the new normal for you. Because like in my
yeah,
old life, I wasn't. I knew I wanted to be a leader, but I wasn't. Like when I was in medical school,
yeah,
and when I become an entrepreneur, I started to realize, oh, like this is my element. Yeah, so
yeah.
I'm just curious about your journey into that and like how it feels today, but also
Oh,
like how it started and like because it was probably like a little bit weird in the beginning. I'm not sure. I'm just talking out of my
oh,
personal
that's
experience.
good.
I'm curious about yours.
Well, the thing is, I was this quiet child when I was younger,
Mm,
but I always had a passion for helping people.
mm,
That once I started to study special needs teacher, I usually took a lot of. I worked voluntary for. I started me and other people. We were starting a convention in the place where I studied, and I remember that I also worked part time as a teacher just when I was 21. So I started really young at this role. But I also was guided by very nice teachers who helped me out, who guided me through this role.
mm,
And I remember that I also studied master studies in special needs education.
mm,
But I also, yeah, and while I took a break from my studies, I worked as a teacher, which is where I got a lot of experience in teaching, and this was a role I had to grow with by doing it a lot. So I think that if you expose yourself for teaching and doing these kind of things, I think yeah, your teaching skills will improve because I had to do it a lot, and I was a really quiet person back then. So
so it's just about like repeating or like doing it a
yeah,
lot and then you get more used to it. Yeah.
yeah.
Was it really scary in the beginning, or how was it in the beginning? Like how did you experience it?
Not so scary. I usually had a very nice students, so it was easier to do my job. But I remember that when I had challenging students back then, I remember it was quite handful, but slowly with age, I learned a lot
Wow. How
about
do
them.
you deal with that today? Like let's say you have something that is like a difficult student or just like someone who's kind of like not I guess cooperating. Like how would you deal with it today? Like for your own sake, but also in the situation.
So that's interesting because in, for example, workshop settings, I think it's very important to show kindness towards these students and show them that you want to help them overcoming these difficulties. Because I feel like the kind teachers are those who wins in the long term by doing that. So
I think so. I think I read a book once and they were talking a lot about the fact that whenever you're in an argument or whatever, you should just maybe like for the other person explain to them and to yourself that you're actually on the same team because you want what's best for them and for you.
Yeah,
And like maybe you have like a different mindset around the approach, but at the end of the day, like you actually want them to succeed. And I think once the student realize that that is what you want, then they will be like, oh, she's actually on my side. And then it's
yeah,
way easier to like figure out, the path to get to the goal together.
mm,
So I feel like that's really good.
yeah,
That's so amazing.
it
What would you
is.
say to like anyone who is, start like haven't yet dared to start, choosing their own path? What do you think, like what would they need to hear, and maybe like what would your past self need to hear from you today?
I think it's a very important to start right away, start now, if you want to achieve your dream. But you also have to have a goal. You have to think about a goal, like what do you want to achieve? And you have to add, the thing I do is to have a checklist on the things I have to do in order to achieve that goal.
Yes.
So think about your goal, what do you want to achieve, and then what kind of steps do you have to take in order to achieve those goals. And I think it's very important to take it little by little.
Yeah, I think that's big.
Yeah.
I think some people dream big, but they are not planning and like making it into
Yeah.
small steps, so they become paralyzed because it just becomes like too big and too confusing. But then, like
Yeah.
you said, when you kind of chunk it down, then you realize, oh, I can do this today and that tomorrow, and like those minor steps will become huge dreams. So
Yeah.
yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Do you want to have some? Yeah, or do you have? Did you want to say something more?
I also just thought about something that I remember I read about this Japanese theory. There's a Japanese word called kaizen, where it says that if you do something 1% of your effort dedicating to your goal every day, it's the higher the chances are to achieve your goal.
Love
If you
that.
do little, if you do little by little every day, it doesn't have to be very big, but it can be a small action.
You're right. Because it adds up. Like just in
Yeah,
general, like whether it's drawing or for me it's dancing, like if you just improve 1% every day, like
yeah,
just imagine where you're a year from now. It's insane
yeah,
how much
that's
you can
true.
go. I love the concept of Kaizen.
Yeah, and I also love that there was this rule I used to follow throughout in order to improve my drawings. I follow this rule called 5 hours rule, where you dedicate 5 hours in a week to read about something or to improve your skills.
I love that.
So I love that rule, and it helped me to improve a lot. And I remember I had a lot of art books about how to draw books, where I usually take the books in areas where I need to improve, and then I practiced 5 hours each week to
That's
improve.
good. Oh, that's so good. I
Yeah,
think that's it because I think it's just what you said. It's just about starting because the moment you
yeah,
start, you will improve just as long as you
yeah,
invest time and effort into the skill. I think
yeah.
that's it. But the problem is most people don't start. Like that's
No,
the issue. And then they don't get better. So there's something about just starting and just knowing that if you do start, you will get better. And then when you get better, you get like mastery. Like you get
yeah,
like a better feeling. And then you kind of get addicted to improving because
that's
you're
true.
like, yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I think that if you're stuck, you can always meet up with your friends who have the similar goals to you.
Yes.
For example, that's what me and my art friends does. So for example, if we want to make a manga or publish a comic, we usually meet up very often where we work on those things.
That's so good. I do
Yeah.
that as well. If there's something I'm like kind of procrastinating on in my business, I have a friend and I'm just like, I need a session. And then we just hop on a call and we just co-work. Like we don't like do things like, yeah, we work on separate projects, but I have him there.
Yeah.
It's so powerful. I love that. Yeah,
Hmm.
this was so fun. Do you want to have like any final words before we end the podcast? Or I don't know, do you want to say something or yeah?
I think it's important is to take when you're choosing yourself. I think it's very important to take choices that could lead to the life you want. So
Yes, that's
yeah,
it. That's so important. I
yeah,
love that. And just there's something about reminding yourself while you're on the path. Because like throughout
yeah,
the path you will meet fear and doubt and rejection, like
yeah,
all the stuff. But if you just keep reminding yourself of like your purpose and also that, yeah, like micro steps and stuff, then you will get there.
yeah. That's true.
Yeah. I love talking to you. It's so inspiring, and
Thank
I hope
you.
you see like the power you have, both like in your own journey, like the control to control your own journey, but also how much of an impact you make by like actually proving to other people that you can actually follow your passion and make it happen.
Yeah.
So that makes me grateful. Super glad.
Thank you.
Cool. Nice. I'll stop.